But getting back to what we were discussing, you had mentioned about we covered the choreography. We covered the audience response when you were over in Europe and over in China, not China,
Singapore.
over in Singapore, right? Now, and I know you said you had mentioned Africa, but you guys didn't go over there to perform. You just went there
Yeah,
yourself,
but I
correct?
brought a puppet with me.
Oh,
I brought a puppet.
okay.
I brought a puppet with me, and he's my favorite
Mm-hmm.
character. And
Mm-hmm.
stopping along the road, going from Accra, which is the capital of Ghana, to Kumasi,
Right,
just traveling and stopping to get gas. There were children around,
right.
and I just
Hello? 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 Oh, what? Hello? What happened? Okay, it says you turned on the video. Is that
yeah,
you, Brett? Okay, it says you turned on. Can you see
I
me?
can
You
see
can
you.
see
Yeah, I
me.
always can see
Oh,
you.
but I can't see you. Okay. I don't know what happened. This is kind of like ooh, the world of puppetry. Oh wow. So so oh we were talking about jazz poetry. That's what how long do you think that the show or the exhibit is gonna be up? Have you guys like worked that out as of yet?
No, I haven't really thought that far in advance. It's really
Mm-hmm.
just a matter now doing the artwork, because a lot of it is going to
Hmm.
be artwork, three-dimensional artwork, some painting, some sketches, but I haven't gotten to that point. I am going to be speaking in the next couple of weeks or so with a couple of friends of mine who are curators, and ask them
Okay.
get some direction. But I don't know yet. I mean, I'll talk to them and ask them what the process is,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure yet. I have to find a venue for it.
Amber says hello.
I,
Hi, Amber. Thank you for tuning in. It's amazing because you all can see me and him, but I can't see him. Hey, it's showbiz, right?
right.
Anything can happen. So, how would you, um, what would you like to see? I know you mentioned you want to see like a festival of, um, of African American puppeteers coming together. But what else would you like to see? Would you like to see, like, they had the Muppets movie. In fact, that's what I meant to ask you. When you were working for Jim Henson Company, um, thank you, T. When you were working when you was working for Jim Henson Company, what Muppets did you operate?
I did the only character that anybody would know would be Snuffle Octopus's father, which was the same puppet,
Mm,
just with a hat and glasses.
hmm
But other than that, I did a lot
Right.
of incidental characters. I mean, I've done chickens, pigs, newscasters, weathermen, all kinds of characters.
Mm. So to our viewing audience, Dion said, "Wow." Just think when during that time, we had no idea that it was a brother, a black man operating some of those puppets that we were
Well,
watching.
I mean,
All the hearts going,
there
huh?
there was there was Kevin Clash who worked there. Kevin Clash created the Elmo character, and
Uh-huh.
uh, and which was very popular. And he was very good puppeteer, probably one of the better puppeteers out here. He doesn't do really a lot of live shows, although as puppeteers, we all started with live audiences, be they birthday parties or school audiences or whatever. Puppeteers, we've done a lot of live performance. I think the new puppeteers now may have been limited in doing live performances. It has become a cottage industry where you can go to the University of Connecticut and get a master's degree in puppetry, and you can go and find a job. Puppetry is very prominent in filmmaking now. You know, a lot of things that you see, especially in special effects shows, puppetry is involved. And puppetry is also very present on Broadway in a lot of different shows that you may not think there's puppetry in. Harry Potter's on Broadway. There's some puppetry in that. There was, of course, there's still The Lion King, which is a fantastic show with puppets. So there have been people who have come through the Muppet organization who are a little bit more prominent than I was. There's Noel McNeil, who directs now. He and I started with the Muppets at the same time, but he directs a lot of their shows, and he just won an Emmy Award. So there's a young lady who works there now who's the first Black woman that they've hired to do anything, and she has a very prominent character. So, you know, Black people are coming into the art form, and you know, for me, it's interesting to see that. You know, we bring to it a uniqueness, as we do with everything else. You know, be it music, dance, filmmaking, art. There's something, there's a special edge that we bring, and
this is true.
And that's what made Elmo so popular, because Kevin was able to bring to it an attitude, even though Elmo was a child, but he brought to the character a Black child, and and I say the young lady, I forget her name. She's bringing something else to it also. There's a speech pattern.
I think her name is Megan. Because she has the puppet Gabrielle, I believe.
And it's you know, and this is interesting, because when I started, and I used to bring up about having Black characters, but they took the position on Sesame Street that there's no Black characters, there's no white characters, they're just characters. That's why they're in different colors. They're different colored Muppets, but they still sounded like we know who, and their point of view, their humor came from one direction. So now, you know, happily, the Children's Television Workshop recognized that, you know, it won't take them out of their zone to have authentic Black characters in the wave of their other characters, you know. So there's a lot of things are happening now. I consider this a renaissance in Black puppetry, you know, and soon you're going to see young people who are getting into it now on the horizon and performing and bringing to it a whole new sense of imagination, you know, because we have a different point of view. And puppetry is one thing that's cool about puppetry, is that it's unlimited. You know, puppetry is an extension of your imagination. So you don't have to be just on television or anything. You could be, you know, in theater, and if you have an idea, you find a way to do it. There's a skill and a discipline that's associated with that. So it's just not a thing of picking up a puppet and doing something. You know, it's a skill, and it's like, you know, Miles Davis learning how to play the trumpet in a very unique way. So we pick up a puppet, you know, as we learn how to operate the puppet, we learn how to give the puppet its own humanity. We bring something else to the character development, how it moves, how it's manipulated, what it sounds like, what what dreams, what imaginations we bring to it that's not from a European base. And so to me, it's an exciting time.
That's wonderful. Well, we've been on for about an hour now, and I'm not going to hold you any longer, but I so appreciate. Oh, one more question. It's really magical what you do, Miss. Oh, so Dion says, it's really magical what you do, Mr. Brewer. Flowers to
Thank you,
you.
brother. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks, Dion. Yeah, he does. That's what I had never, myself personally, I had never um, met anyone uh, who operated in the field of puppetry, yet alone someone who was from our communities, a fellow African American, and then on top of it, a man, because T says, "Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Brewer." I don't know if you can see the
Yeah, I do. Thank
comments,
you. Thank you. I
but
appreciate that.
okay, yeah. So I know personally I had never seen or met because we grew up Jim Henson, Jim Henson, Jim Henson, and kudos to Jim Henson. I'm glad that he allowed you in his space. That was a beautiful, wonderful thing that he did that.
He actually he
But
actually funded a couple of projects that I've done.
wow.
He was very supportive. Jim Henson was very much aware of our struggle. He wasn't vocal
Mm,
about it, but he was very much aware of it, and he appreciated what we've done. He's come to a show that we did, and
mm,
he watched it. He had some comments about it, but most of it was complimentary. But he had some comments that we really appreciated. So he was a good guy, and he supported us. He liked the idea of us doing something different. A lot of people now, I think, new puppeteers get caught up in trying to duplicate the Muppets, and
right.
and instead of looking for their own pathway. And that's what Jim really encouraged. And so, I told him that I had an idea to do something, and before I knew it, he called up and there was some money to do it. And
Wow.
after he passed away, we received twice from the Henson Foundation grant money.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so there's, people there appreciate, and I think the world of
Right.
puppetry, which we thought was kind of like distant from us, we found out, we start seeing how, people were aware of us. We didn't know that they were aware of us, but they
Mm.
were, and they supported us, and they came to see us. So it's a community, but I'm really excited about the whole idea of young Black people getting into it and finding this art form. That's very rewarding.
That's awesome. Amber, my friend Amber says thank you. She goes,
Thank you.
thank you. And Cassie says, very interesting and informative interview. Kudos. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you for showing up. I want to ask one more question, but I don't know how Instagram going, but if is there anybody that you would like to work with,
Oh,
or you feel like you work with everybody that you could work with? Well,
there
not
is
like
somebody who
everybody.
I want to work with, and he and I have been talking. His name is Craig Marin, and he's had extensive experience on television. He's done a lot of television with his puppets, and we've kind of like touched on
Mm.
to it. But that's somebody who I'd like to work with. We had an opportunity to do some stuff with Spike Lee. I'd like to try maybe do some more stuff with him. He's been very
Mm.
supportive of us, and so I don't
Mm.
know. It's finding that audience. Oh, I know one person who I would really like to work with, Wynton Marsalis.
Oh,
And jazz
oh,
poetry
yeah.
is kind of like my way of calling out to him. Hey, man,
Mm.
this is what jazz can do. Wouldn't this be a great way to introduce jazz to young children by way of puppetry,
Mm.
and letting puppetry
Mm.
interpret the music of the masters? That's
Mm.
kind of like what I would like to see happen with that.
Mm. Wonderful. Okay. Well, awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for
Thank you
inviting me back.
again for showing up. thank you for always being uh, willing to share what you have, what you know, because that's how we learn. We learn from those who have been in the field and the business of entertainment and just in life in general. And you have so much wisdom and knowledge to share. So I personally appreciate that. And I know our viewing audience appreciate it as well. I thank you all so much for showing up and entering the room once more this evening. And I thank Mr. Master Puppeteer, Mr. Brad Brewer. And I don't know if I'll be able to get him again to do another interview.
Hey, maybe anytime.
And oh yeah, by the way, he can be followed on Instagram at Satchmo_13. If you want to follow him on Instagram, and he's also on Facebook under Brad Brewer. So if you like to follow him, you can. That's where you can follow him at. In the meantime, you all have a wonderful, blessed evening. I send all my loves and kisses. Until next time, I see you later. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.